What's going on, guys? So DICE has added more specializations for our Apocalypse DLC, and since we're in a testing environment, we've had the chance to test some of these out. Now I want to give you guys a quick run through on all these new specializations. Just keep in mind that this is in the testing environment, so they can have changes in the near future, as well as DICE hasn't given us any information on the mission requirements in order to unlock any of these new specializations. The first one here is called Privateer, and it's probably the only specialization I wasn't really able to try, as it's mainly a perk for you when you are in the water. So the perk gives you 25% faster swimming speed when your melee weapon is in hand. So unfortunately, with the Apocalypse maps that we have right now, there was no real opportunity to really get to a swimming position in the water. However, this is a pretty interesting perk, as we haven't really seen any specific specializations that were just mainly around the water. And so having Turning Tides North Sea just recently coming out, this will be a interesting perk to have on those maps. The second one we have here is called Awareness, and it says enemies spotted by you remain spotted for 25% longer. So I was having a pretty fun time having this one equipped while I was playing the Scout class, as I had the Spotting Pigeon as my gadget, flying around spotting enemy players, and with this specialization equipped, they were staying spotted just a little bit longer. So trying to help my teammates out doing this. Now of course you don't have to be using the Spotting Pigeon to spot enemy players. You can still use your flare gun, as that will work just as much and keep the enemy players spotted for 25% longer. Or you don't even have to be a scout class in the first place. As long as you go around spotting enemy players with this specialization equipped, you'll keep them again spotted 25% longer. So if you again like going around spotting enemy players, this is going to be a specialization you're going to want to probably equip. The next specialization here is definitely my favorite already, and probably going to be one of the better ones out of all of these here, even ones previously given before on other DLCs. This one is called Slink, and the sound of your footsteps is reduced. So I'll tell you what, using this one already, I was able to really just run around the map, and even though there were some circumstances that I think players were just kind of unaware of my position on them, I felt there's other situations as well too where I was getting a little bit of the jump on them. So this perk itself, I think, is probably going to rival Inconspicuous as my favorite specialization. I think it might actually supersede it, as the Inconspicuous perk only really needs to be used in certain circumstances when you have to deal with scout classes using their flare guns to spot you. But Slink is something that, if equipped, will always be working for you, and you can easily run around the map. And there's a lot of situations where I was running in water and you couldn't hear me. I was running in the trenches. You can't hear that sound of running over the wooden planks. There's none of those sounds at all. And I really see this probably to be the best one that we have right now, and I'm hoping to see this available for the Assault class, because I would like to equip Slink along with Inconspicuous, along with the other new Turning Tides perk that was called the Pilferer, as that allows me to get gadgets equipped by enemy players if I melee them from behind. So I went onto a game on River Psalm with this equipped, and I was just running around meleeing a bunch of people. Again, probably some of the people were unaware, but while I was running around, my footsteps are very quiet, if not completely silent, and I definitely think this will probably be one of the, or if not the best specialization that has come to Battlefield 1. Now, with the rest of the specializations I'm about to show you, these are mainly specializations that really make the gameplay harder for you. Now initially I was wasn't sure what the really point of these were, as majority of the time the specializations from DICE's perspective have been introduced into Battlefield 1 for different perspectives that you can give to yourself while playing the game. So with these specializations though, they really do give you a different perspective, and they make the game much harder for you, which I could see for some people on the battlefield who maybe might want more of a challenge for them, they would want these equipped. So I've always kind of thought about this before in the past. I thought previously maybe playing some games with my HUD completely off. I do that sometimes for my full immersion videos, but I just thought on other occasions I would do that to make the game maybe a little bit more challenging, more interesting. It seems like DICE is a little bit ahead on me on this, as they are already introducing the rest of these specializations I'm about to show you as ways to really make it more challenging. So the first one we have here is called Reaper, and it's described as death comes for us all quicker for some than others. Lose 1 health per second performing a kill. Stalls the poison for 10 seconds. So essentially, when you're on the map, you're going to be losing 1 point of health per second. So you're going to kind of feel what it feels like if you kind of run through fire and you watch your health going down. It's kind of like at that rate throughout the whole part of the game until you hit 0. So it doesn't, again, take you too long till you die. And you can't run up to your medic class and get yourself healed by them at all. The only thing I saw where that was a possibility is if you end up shooting an enemy player, that whole poison that's in your body ends up stopping for that brief 10 seconds. So if you do have a medic class near you, you can then re-heal yourself, as that is normally in the game in itself, where you won't be able to heal yourself if you're taking damage at a specific time. So it's, again, like I said, DICE has brought in some of these specializations to make it a bit harder, and this is by far the most difficult one that I have seen on the list. The next one we got here is called Peacock, and it says, you see yourself as the hero and want everyone to know it. Once you are spotted, you remain spotted until death. So I get a little bit of a kick out when I read how that's written, and it's kind of interesting, as we just had one of the previous specializations that I mentioned keeps your enemy player spotted for 25% longer. This one here, if you want to go on the other side of the spectrum and leave yourself spotted for the rest of the game or until you die, you have the option of doing that. The next one here is called Paranoia. After seeing the effects of gas firsthand, you never want to experience it for yourself. You cannot remove your gas mask. So your gas mask is stuck on your face as long as you have this specialization equipped. So I found myself looking for weapons that I could be successful hip firing with, as when you have your gas mask on, you cannot aim down sight. So I was actually pretty surprised. I actually found a little bit of success doing that, actually, which was pretty interesting. But if there is one specialization that does give you a different outlook on the battlefield, as DICE had attended with these new perks, this would definitely be the one, as your gas mask, again, gives you that totally different viewpoint on the map that you normally wouldn't really have if you have your gas mask not equipped. The next one we got here is called Death Toll. Life is precious, don't throw it away. Each death deducts 200 points from your round score. So I just want to quit for a full game. I want to see how well I could do, and I end up dying 13 times, so that took away 2,600 points from me. So at the end round score, I think I was around 7th place on my team, and if I wouldn't have had this equipped, I would have made up those 2,600 points, and I think that would have pushed me a little bit over 10,000, which would have given me the MVP for the game. So pretty interesting to have this equipped. It does not take effect if you die and your teammate revives you. It only takes effect if you die and you accept your death and you find yourself in the home spawn screen. Now the last specialization here is probably my favorite out of all the ones that make the gameplay more difficult for you, and this one's called Scavenger. And it says, you seem to always run out of ammo and must loot the battlefield for more. You only carry 1 magazine per weapon. So this definitely is very interesting. It kind of gives you maybe a little bit of a gun mastery feel if you guys like that game mode, as you will run out of ammo really fast and you have to find yourself finding another weapon on the map. Now you can't even run up to support classes and get ammo from them. You're just left with what you have, and then you have to go and find other weapons on the map. So I really found myself, after maybe 1 or 2 kills, quickly having to go and pick up that enemy player's gun, and hopefully getting another couple of kills with that one, and then picking up that next enemy player's gun, and just kind of seeing how far I could go like that. Definitely pretty interesting, definitely pretty rewarding as well too, when you find yourself picking up this completely random gun and getting some kills with it. But that one is probably the most fun I had out of all these more difficult specializations. Now again, no word yet from DICE on what the mission requirements are going to be to unlock these new specializations, as well as no news on which specialization will go to which class. Now, I do hope DICE does give the players who choose the more difficult specializations a type of medal, hopefully a dog tag, as even though it is rewarding to use these and have it more difficult for your game, and maybe, you know, tell people and your friends around you what you've been doing, nothing will really you know, let everyone know more than having a dog tag equipped that tells you, you know, you got so and so kills that were required using a specialization for you to unlock this dog tag. So that would definitely be pretty cool. It would let enemy players on the battlefield know when they get killed by you, you represent his dog tag. They'll have an understanding of what you went through to get this, and hopefully they do something like that and make it somewhat more rewarding than you just equipping these perks and running around with them and making the gameplay more difficult for you. But again, I would like to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Let me know what you're liking about this, what you're not liking about this. But that's it for you guys today. I appreciate you guys being here. I am Livin', and I'll catch you guys again later. Peace.